Hey, this is Syed. So today I'm starting a new video series. This is gonna be for Selenium framework in 2020. So I'm gonna show you guys step by step process to create a Selenium framework. In this tutorial, I'll be using OpenJDK 11 Maven. For editor, I'll be using IntelliJ. And dependencies, for now I'm gonna use these three: Selenium server, Selenium Java, and testng. In the later on, we're gonna add more dependencies like Apache API for data Excel sheet uh, implementation, also maybe extend for reporting. So let's get started. So the two pre-requirement to create a Selenium framework, you need to have a JDK, which is a Java Development Kit, installed in your system, also Maven. So let's get started. So we're gonna download OpenJDK 11. So let me open a browser. So first thing we have to do, we have to search for OpenJDK 11 download in Google. So the first link you'll see, download and install OpenJDK. Click on it. This tutorial gonna be for Windows. I might create another tutorial for Mac in the future. For now, this is gonna be only for Windows. So next thing, we are looking for OpenJDK 11. So if you see that, if you want OpenJDK 9 or later, click on here. So from here we can choose the 11. Now since we are using Windows, so the second option, our Windows is 64-bit version, so we're gonna click on this one. It will start download a OpenJDK zip file. For Linux and Mac is gonna be a tar file. So in the meanwhile, we're gonna also download Maven. So just look for Maven download. So the first option, the Apache Maven. So this is we're also gonna download a zip for Windows. If you are using Mac and Linux, this is the file you want to download, the tar.gz. But for Windows, we're gonna use bin.zip. Okay, so it's already downloaded. Let me go to the folder, download folder. Let me close this out for now. No, the download for Maven is still. So just click on continue downloading. So it's downloaded already. We can close this and open a new tab for now for IDE. So we have these two folders. We're gonna extract them both. Extract all. That's fine. Leave the default option. So it will extract OpenJDK 11 within this folder. So we have OpenJDK 11 inside the extracted folder. We're gonna do the same for Maven. Extract all. Okay. So we're gonna copy both the directory into different directory. Let's go create new document, new folder, maybe Selenium framework 2020. So we're gonna paste it here. We're also gonna copy this folder, go back to that Selenium framework folder, paste it here. Let me actually rename it. So we have both JDK 11 and Maven. So next step is to put them in our environment variable and environment path. So if you are in Windows, you can just search for it env. And so the first option, edit the system environment variables. Once you are there, you need to click on the environment variables. So the first option is user variables. So this is not only for the logged in user, but we want it for all user in this system. So we're gonna use the second option, system variables. So click on new. So the first one, we need to create a variable for Java, which is Java underscore home, and the next value should be the one we just created in the documents folder, Selenium 2020 JDK, and that's it. So we have Java underscore home as the variables. We're gonna create one for Maven. And we're gonna do the same. We're gonna click on the browse directory, and from there we're gonna go to the folder we just copied the files. So within the documents and the Selenium framework 2020, and select Maven. So we have both variables. Click OK. So next step is put them in the path directory. So if you scroll down, you will see path. Then double click on it, and here you can define those paths. So the path we need to set the path. So when we create either Maven project or like execute Maven command or execute a Java program, this will look for the executable from the path variables. So click on new here. So the way we can set the path in the environment variables is using %, and in the middle you can say Java underscore home, then / and the executor within the bin. So we need to define bin here. We're gonna do the same for Maven. So % Maven underscore home, then / bin. Click OK, click OK, and click OK. So now we can just open either Git bash or PowerShell. We're gonna test it in both. So here in the Git bash, if you have Git installed in your system, you should have access to Git bash. So just type Java -version. So you see we have OpenJDK 11 installed in our system. We're gonna do the same for Maven, and -b, and here also see we have Maven 3.6.3, and the Maven home is where we put our Maven folder within the documents framework 2020 Maven. So this is working fine. Let's try something. Just create a maybe Java, one of the Java like Hello World program, and see if our system is able to execute the Java program. So just type just create a file here, new okay, let me open a notepad. Just create a Java class, which is a public class. Hello world. So here we can define public static void main string yes. Here we can put a log. stm.out.println hello world. So we can save as within the documents here. So we can say this is gonna be type Java. Make sure you name the file as the name of the class itself, otherwise it's not gonna work. Save. So we have this Java file. Next step, we need to compile it. So let me open a git bash here. So you can see we have java.helloworld.java. So the first thing we need to compile it to class. So the way you can do it is Java compiler, then the class name .java. So we should have a class file here, and now we can execute this file using Java command. Okay. So you can see it printed out hello world. So Java is installed properly in our system. So let's go to the next steps, which is downloading IntelliJ. We're gonna use this IDE for our code editor. Okay, so open the browser again and search for IntelliJ. We're gonna so there is a two option, which is ultimate. You need to pay for it. You can get 30-day trial, but for this demo we're gonna use the community edition, which is open source and is free. So you're just gonna, you can either download the zip folder and extract the content from within the zip folder, or you can download the exe, then execute to install in your system. So for this demo I'm gonna download the exe version. Let's close this, we don't need it for now. Once the IDE is downloaded, you can double click to start installation. This requires permission to change in our system, so this is pretty trusted application, so you can say yes. Click next. Destination folder, we can leave it in the default directory, which is under program files, JetBeans, then the IDE name. It says it's not an empty folder. That means I had it before downloaded and installed in the system, so that's why it's not empty. Please select an empty folder. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna click on OK, browse it. You're gonna go to the zip folder. Actually, we're gonna delete this one. Actually, let's use another folder. So I'm gonna go to the documents. I'm gonna do the same. Use this framework, and then we're gonna put it there in within the framework folder we created earlier. Click next. So since our launcher is our system is 64-bit, you can select the 64-bit launcher. Associate, create associate. We're gonna use this for Java, so you can select Java. Groovy, Kit, KTS. We don't need this for now. Select next. Do you want, if you want to create the icon in the start menu, where you can access it to launch the IDE. So we can leave it default here. Click install. If you click on show, you'll see all the jar file is getting extracted into the installation directory. So I'm gonna pause this video until, actually no, I don't need to. It seems like it's installing quickly. So the IntelliJ IDE is installed. So you can just check run IntelliJ IDE Community Edition, then click on Finish. So since I had a previously installed in my system, it is asking for me to select the previous config, but if you are installing the fresh without previous installation, it should not get this option. So I'm gonna do the same as you guys. So I'll just select the do not import setting, click OK. Next, the UI theme, you can choose either dark or light. I prefer dark, so I'm gonna select dark one. If you like light option, you can just select light and click next, but I'm gonna use the dark edition, so I'll click next. Plugin, we don't need any of those plugins for now. I'm just gonna click on next. Feature plugins, we don't need any of those feature plugin also, so you can just click on start using IntelliJ IDE. Since this is gonna be new framework, we're gonna create a new project. So we're gonna use Maven for our project management. So click on the Maven to the left navigation, and then if you see like no SDK, that means like it couldn't find the SDK in your system. So since we already installed a JDK, SDK means JDK, so you can just define the path here. So if you click on the arrow key, down arrow key, then you should see add JDK. So remember where you put our uh, JDK, right? So it was in the documents folder. If you go to the user, then my user, within my user it was in documents, and then Selenium 2020, and this is JDK 11 is where we put our JDK in. So click OK. So now you will see it was able to grab the Java JDK from there. So if you don't see this, like the blue icon and the JDK version next to it, so you might need to see what the error is. You might need to reinstall your JDK and everything, but if you put the correct path, you should be able to find it without any issue. So once you set up the SDK, click on next. Here you can name anything for our, so this is going to be a framework project, so you can say Selenium 2020, and location, we're gonna select the same location within our document folder. So where is my documents? Nope, not this one. So documents, that's 2020. Click OK. Actually, let me create another. So 2020, we're gonna create a new folder here, project. Click OK and select the project folder. Click OK and then finish. Okay, and close it out. So installed our IDE. Next steps, we need to define the dependencies in our project. So the way you can do it in, if you go to the project folder itself, and let me make it a little bigger. So if you go to the settings, editor, general, now actually code editing, font, font actually, so make it like 25. So you can see the font got bigger, so you should be able to see it. So let me open the project structure. So when we create a new Maven project, the structure, you will see like it has a form.xml where you can define all the project management configuration here in the form.xml file itself, and there should be another folder called source src. Within source you will see main and test. If it was a Java project, I mean like Java application project, so everything application related should have gone inside the main, and if there is any unit test and stuff like that, should have gone everything within the unit test. So for our so this is a test framework. We're gonna use only test. We don't need this one. So the first thing what I do, I just click on the resource folder and put in the test instead of main. So it will ask for it if this is ask for refactoring, or am I sure you want to refactor this? I said yeah, sure. So we've done that. Now you can just delete this main directory from the project itself. We don't need that. Okay, so if you see now we have Java, then resource, and only form.xml file. So here we can define a few properties here within XML file. So the first one should be the properties. Yes, the properties tag. So next is dependencies. Here you can put dependencies, and next one is build. Within build we're gonna put plugins. Okay, now we need to grab all the dependencies and put them here. So the first one we need is testng, then Selenium, and Selenium Java. So the first we're gonna go to Selenium HQ Maven. If you search for Maven dependency, click on the first link. So we're gonna use this one. So this is the Java related dependencies, the Selenium framework. We can access all the function from the Selenium using that. So we're gonna put here paste. So the next one we need is the server. We need server for defining grid and stuff like that. I'm gonna show that later on. So just copy this one. So this is the Selenium server. Good. And next up is testng Maven. So testng Maven, the first link. So you can just grab this one. You see the version number here. I don't like to put them within the dependencies. Instead I create like version within the properties, then create and use the properties within the version. So the way you can do it is the first one is Selenium version. Third version, and for this number 3.1.14.1.59. This is the Selenium 3 stable version, the latest one. Just paste it here. Now you can remove this and use the system properties we defined here. So the way you can do it is like $, then curly bracket, and inside the curly bracket we can just put this name, Selenium version. We're gonna do the same for the server also, since this is the same version of Selenium. And the testng, we're gonna create a same testng third version, and this 618. We're gonna do the same here for testng. Okay, we got our dependencies. Let's bring all the dependencies within the project. So the way we can do it is like if you click on that Maven to the right, you'll see the option here. You see this refresh like icon. If you click on it, it will start bring all the dependencies from the different in the POM and put it in our project. So it's done. So if you click on the external libraries here under the project paths and directories, so you will see all these dependencies, Selenium and test, and actually built-in feature for intelligence. So that's why doing that and testing. It's already there, so we don't. I'm like, oh, right here actually. Sorry, testing 618. Okay, so let's test it out. Let's create a new class here. This is gonna be test class. Java. Let's try logging something. See if Java, like our application works. So that's out. Test Maven city. Now, since this is the main, you should be able to run this here. So if you click on the icon here, or if you right click on the main, should be able to see the class name, then the method name, or you can just just click on within the main method itself, then click on run, and if you click run, you should run the project. Okay, so we got this error called release version 5 not supported. That means so as you remember in the beginning, we installed JDK 11, not JDK 5. So that's but Maven, the default is set for 5. Maven usually is JDK 5 or Java 5 as default. So in order to use JDK 11, we have to define something within our pom.xml. So in the properties, you can define maven.compiler first is target. So here you can define 1.11. So 1 is always there, one dot, but if you have JDK 11, it's 11. If you have 8, you put 8, or if you have 13, 14, whatever the numbers, the number after dot should be the one the JDK you have installed. So we're gonna do the same. We're gonna add another line called source. So Maven compiler dot source C, and this should be the same. Now if we just refresh the project again, and if we go to our main, and if we run, and it should run without any error. See, this is a test Maven project. So we didn't get that error, Java 5 not supported error, so because we defined here. This is the compiler and target and source. Okay, so everything is set. So I'm gonna end this video here today. I'm gonna the next steps, we're gonna update this. We're gonna add some package and stuff like that, define where we should put everything in the framework. So I'll see you guys there. Thanks, bye.